what it costs. Yeah, I hit the ground and it go off. Yeah, hit the ground and it go off. Yeah, run it. Ooh, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year. Yeah.
Everybody, good morning. Welcome to the morning show. I'm Spencer Israel. Today is a very special day here on the morning show. We are celebrating a 1-year anniversary, very special 1-year anniversary. We'll talk about that. It's also Crypto Friday and it's options expiration day. So we got a lot going on today. Our guest, David Zarling, head of investment strategy and research at Client First Tax and Wealth Advisors. He'll be on at 9 o'clock. Also be joined by Kimmy Sokoloff at 9:15, as we always are. And we are joined by you all in the chat. Good morning, good morning, good morning. If you're watching on YouTube, drop us a like. We'd appreciate that. I have JC here. I have Strazza here. They're ready to go. Let's do this. It's the morning show.
Time flies when you're having fun, huh, Strazza?
Happy bull market birthday to you, sir.
You're not wearing a bull market shirt today.
No bull market shirt today.
It's Crypto Friday, Spencer's favorite day.
We have a special video to commemorate the bull market.
Yeah, all right. I'll put something more fun on. You're right.
No, leave that on. We have our good friends at Centerpoint Security. Shout out Centerpoint. We love you guys. Great stuff. I mean, it really is good. I love it.
What are you doing to celebrate this special occasion?
Well, I'm gonna go to Uncle Bill's, right, and get a nice family breakfast. Uncle Bill's is like, dude, this menu is the greatest menu in the history of breakfast places.
Diner?
What do you want?
Diner style?
What is it?
It's diner style?
Yes. Yeah, and very just well done, convenient. You know, they got quite the racket going. They got these young kids, you know, late high school, early college, right, running the whole joint, probably getting paid nothing, you know, because they get to party at the beach all summer, which is, you know, payment enough, really, at that age. So they got quite the racket. They make great food, man. Anything you want. And then Jersey, obviously, breakfast sandwiches, Taylor ham, the whole thing. So if you're going to have a good, hearty breakfast, like you know, I can think of very few places around the country where I'd rather be having that, in my opinion. What do you think about that there, Spencer? Shout out New Jersey.
I think, you know, Jersey diners are where it's at. I did not live in New Jersey for 7 years, and I miss my diners very much. But you asked what we're doing in honor and commemoration, whatever, of the bull market. We're playing this video. Happy 1-year anniversary to the bull market, guys.
It is down year to date, but you say we're in a bull market?
The media says so, JC. Everyone else finally agrees with you.
Dude, that is ridiculous. That's the top. Are you kidding me? Who made that? I haven't seen that.
No, you haven't.
That was so good.
Dude, that was definitely the top. Are you kidding me? Giancarlo made that, or you told him what to put?
I haven't seen it.
Izzy made it.
Dude, that's ridiculous. All right. That's so funny. That's out of control. Dude, how is that not the top? Like that, videos like that don't come near the bottoms.
We're having fun here, right? Obviously, we're having a lot of fun with this. But what is it? What are we celebrating? Is it really a 1-year anniversary of a new bull market? Or is it really the 1-year anniversary of the end of the old bear market? And is that the same thing?
I think what gets lost here, people take like little segments of like things I say on TV and cherry pick that, and like that's all fun and we can make fun videos. Great. My bigger point in all of those interviews was that the first thing that stocks need to do before they could start to go up is to stop going down. I'm pretty sure I learned that from Luis Yamada. But there's also a very aggressive element of common sense there as well, where mathematically they got to stop going down before they can start to go up. And as it turns out, the time that they stopped going down was in June of 2022. I mean, it's just math. So I remember at the time, and like us, like, you know, like a lot of people were not thrilled that we were buying stocks so aggressively there. You know, they're what happened to trend following and risk management and blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
For me at the time, and then even still, probably even more so now, just a great lesson actually going through it, is rather than waiting for your stupid fucking computer to tell you that stocks are going up, why don't you just count them?
You're big on this counting lately.
I don't understand. Like, have we like gone so far from common sense where we need to build these crazy algorithms and oh my God, and my model that I built and bro, what happened to just going chart by chart, be like, this one's going up, this one's going up, that one's not, this one's going up, what happened to that? And at the very least, this one's not going down anymore. This one's not going down. These are still going down. Those are not going down. Why? Wow, how come none of these stocks are going down? I remember saying, like, Strazza, this is like there's just bad news every day. Why aren't stocks going down? Like, why aren't they going lower? Remember, we were saying that in June and July. We're like, how come stocks stopped going down? What's going on? And then so by the time October came, people were like, oh, JC, the market bottomed in October, bro.
Well, so Ed was
there weren't any stocks left going down at that point, right? Like the S&P made its final low, but there weren't any stocks. Like in March of 2009, hate to be so dramatic, like to cherry pick that moment, but since everybody likes to talk about that moment, when March of 2009, when S&P 500 bottomed, there weren't any stocks left still going down. There were like 5 stocks going down. Not everything bottomed already. The majority of stocks bottomed in October of 2008. I think it was the Lehman moment. Maybe AIG, one of those, but it was October like the 10th, maybe. That is when the new 52-week lows list peaked. And then in November, you were still in diapers, Strazza, so just take my word for it. But in November, the S&Ps made new lows like towards Thanksgiving, and fewer stocks were making new lows. The indexes continued lower, but fewer stocks. Then we rallied, then rolled over in the first quarter again. And by the time that the market made its final bottom, everybody's bearish. The whole thing, there weren't any stocks left still going down. Most had already bottomed. So this is very simple. Go back to 2016 also. By the way, Strazza, I was labeled a perma bear in 2015. Perma bear. Now I'm a perma bull, right? So like in bull markets, I'm a perma bull. In bear markets, I'm a perma bear. Like that's how this works, in case you know, for you newcomers. So in 2015, I swear I thought that Deutsche Bank was a zero, Credit Suisse was a zero. Turned out to be right on the Credit Suisse eventually. Deutsche Bank still kicking. I was convinced they were going to zero. These European banks sucked in 2015. I was super bearish. And then a funny thing happened in January. You had that in January 2016, you had that spike low in the S&Ps, and then you had the retest in February, literally a month later. Nothing made a new low. Very few stocks made new lows. In fact, the ones that made their final lows in January were the leaders going off that. Go back, I was super bullish. Gold miners, Latin America, like that, copper, like that sort of stuff, absolutely ripped. They bottomed out in January. So this is no different. You know, the majority of stocks have been going up for a year. So that's why we're talking about the 1 year anniversary, because that was a year ago today. That was June the 16th of. It was a Thursday. Today's Friday. So
it was a Thursday. You remember that?
I do.
But Ed was making a good point yesterday, right? Just echoing the same thing you were just saying here about how it's not uncommon to see the majority of stocks bottom before the indexes themselves, right? I think COVID was actually pretty weird back in 2020, where those two things did.
Bullshit. These financials had already been rolling over, you know, right? There was a lot. Remember, we were super bearish. We didn't know anything about COVID.
I'm talking about simply the new 52-week lows list peaking at the same time that the market bottoms.
Highs list, you mean?
New 52-week lows.
Oh, at the bottom, you're saying. I was talking about the top. Sorry.
Throw the chart up. Yeah. No, I'm talking about the bottom. The new 52-week lows will peak out first, and then the indexes will bottom months later.
Did it happen simultaneously, you mean?
Happened simultaneously kind of in 2020.
Right. Yeah, no doubt. And then also, but remember that summer and that spring, we were looking at 21-day highs list, 63-day highs list, right? Remember, like that's what we were looking at. We weren't looking at 52-week highs list because you got to start somewhere, you know. And this, by the way, this has been the same. We got spikes in January on the 21-day and the 63-day new highs list. And by the way, for you guys that are new to all search charts, so 21 days, about a month of trading. 63 days, about 3 months of trading, about a quarter. So that's why we use those numbers. And you saw those expansions earlier this year. Now you're seeing the new 52-week highs list. I mean, again, getting back to, you can wait until the new 52-week highs list eventually spikes and just wait for that confirmation in your stupid fucking computer to tell you that more stocks are making new highs, or
It happens late in the game.
same thing, right? Why can't we just count? You know, we're supposed to be in a banking crisis. This is the most hilarious banking crisis I've ever seen. HSBC is making new 52-week highs. HSBC, are you kidding me? And by the way, I still can't get over how cheap these calls were. We got them for $2, bro. These are the January 40 calls, $2. Jeez Louise, I'll take that trade all day. What do I have to risk? $2. And then Sean, I like Sean. Sometimes he's a little too aggressive with his risk management. In my opinion, I mean, for me personally, he can do whatever the hell he wants. He's more responsible than I am, I guess, which is good. Why he's going out to Asia with you next month. Take good care of you. He's the responsible one. So for me, Sean's a little tight with his stops when we just buy call options. Because for me, when you buy call options, there's already risk management built into the trade. You can't lose more than what you put in. You're a limited partner, like in a hedge fund, right? Whatever you put in, that's the most you can lose no matter what. And you got to be okay with that. So great. So you already have risk management. But then he takes it another step further, where if the stock breaks support or the ETF breaks support, then all bets are off. Just capture what you can capture, take the tinier loss, even though you've already built in, full maximum loss. Now you're losing way less than that also, which is great. So usually I think it's too aggressive with that additional risk management. In this case, I do agree with him. In this case, it really is really clean. Like, if we're not above 38 and we're hanging out down there, I don't want to be in this thing, right? Yep. So I feel like rarely am I in Sean's camp with this additional layer of risk management on the trade. But I'm with you on this one, Shawnee. I'm with you. What do you think? You're just letting it ride.
Are you talking to me or Sean?
Yeah, you.
No, I'm still not even in it.
Oh, you got in that in the what is it, TGX, TXG, whatever?
Yeah, I put an order out for HSBC. I was just not paying too much attention yesterday. I'll get in today.
Oh, I tried to add more at the close. I didn't get filled. I'm in though. All right.
Didn't filled either.
How about this, by the way? So there's like, oh, JC, bro, I live in America. I live in Texas, and I eat my barbecue and I buy American stocks. It's like, all right, fine, then buy American stocks. Look at JP Morgan. There's nothing wrong with barbecue, by the way. I love barbecue. Look at Eric Gonzalez. Shout out Frappato. All right. See, somebody's listening. How delicious. Did you chill it? Drink some Frappato on a nice warm day. Strazza, you and the Keys, get yourself some Frappato, bro.
Can we talk about this large cap value?
Is JP Morgan large cap value?
I would think so.
Can you put up that chart? Because since I live in America, I only buy American stocks, JC. Nobody cares about Peru.
Let's just be
pushing up against the
I'm not the one who says that.
What?
I'm not the one who says that.
You're not the one that says that. I get told that constantly. JC, we don't live in Europe, bro. Japan making new 33-year highs. Like, who cares?
If you just ignored international stocks for the last 10 years, though, and bought only U.S. stocks, wasn't that the right move?
No, because I think there was information and the different divergences at different peaks and troughs in the market that you saw overseas. No? 2018, the 2018 highs.
What is like the market cap of the Japanese market or any other of these markets that you're referring to here? Doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be Japan.
It's a good question. The US is like 70 trillion.
Yeah.
The bond market's like 115, 120 trillion.
So JC, you always say
global stocks, I'll tell you right now. So I think global stocks are like 130, something like that. So if the United States is 70 of that.
Okay, fine.
So think of it like that.
So my point is, like, every time I want to talk about some random, like, actually there's a few stocks that are in the news that are moving a lot this morning. These are small stocks that don't matter in the grand scheme of things, but they're moving this morning. And you always say, who cares about this $1 billion stock? It doesn't matter because it's so small, right?
Well, I care if I'm buying it and I think it goes higher.
It's the same logic with Japan, though. it is a speck of dust on the mountain that is the United States stock market. So
Sure. Fine. So what I would say is that if you have no interest in base metals and base metals companies, and just natural resources, if you have no interest in that, then fine, ignore Peru and Chile and just ignore those countries and pretend they don't even exist. But
Okay.
if you are open-minded as an investor and you don't give a damn whether you're buying biotechnology stocks or chip makers or companies that drill for rocks, and you don't care, you just want to sell things at higher prices than where you buy them, then perhaps you might want to keep an eye on what Latin America is doing in general if you have any interest at all in ever having any exposure whatsoever in natural resources. Why the hell wouldn't you? Maybe you don't care about Taiwan. I think maybe you should. They have great speakeasies. Strazza, I'm not gonna say you're gonna love Taiwan, but you're gonna have a good time and you're gonna drink nice cocktails. They do a really nice job. They got a bunch of New Yorkers out there building speakeasies. It's ridiculous.
Just for the record, of the three of us here, I'm the only one that's actually lived in Taiwan. Okay, just let it be known.
I lived there for a couple nights.
Okay.
How many references, Spencer, do you think we'll have to Strazza having a good time in Asia over the next few weeks?
Too many.
I'm jealous. You're going to Asia. I mean, you go to a lot of places that I loved. I mean, I don't really dislike any of the places in Asia that I went to. I mean, I like them all for different reasons. I mean, I love Tokyo. I'm obsessed with that, but that's a whole nother animal.
Yo,
yesterday, I wish I was going, man.
I mean, I did it all, man. I'm home. I got kids. I got 3 kids. I'm here at the beach. I mean, I'm a different phase in my life, my friend. And remember, the reason you guys are going out there is because you guys are like, my right-hand guys, like, helping me manage my own money. I want you guys to have the experiences that I had. I learned so much. I'm definitely a better investor. I'm here. Spencer's calling me out that no one gives a shit about Japan. I think maybe people should. I mean, it's a big base, man. 33-year base. Come on.
One of the best bases.
One of the best bases.
Best bases. Got to give it.
And by the way, Spencer, a lot of these stocks, the ones that matter anyway, they trade in the United States. So who cares if you know what I'm saying? Like if you want to buy, like Kimmy's trading Alibaba. Kimmy's a New York girl through and through, and she trades Alibaba like every day. It's not an American stock.
Yeah, that's an ADR. That's true. Okay, do you want to do some crypto here? Because Crypto Friday.
Hell yes.
Do we have charts? I assume, of course we do.
I didn't know you were a Mormon.
All right. I mean, I think the biggest one, start with slide 13 there. I think the biggest thing that we probably want to look at is this one. I think this tells the story, doesn't it, Strazza? So this is Bitcoin. This is Bitcoin relative to the S&P 500, and we've been talking about it extensively. Fonz, if you get a chance, throw up the Bitcoin technology, overlaid diverging. So technology represents 26% more, 27% of the S&P 500, something like that. It's a big portion. And we've seen technology and Bitcoin very highly correlated for some time until recently, where technology is really taken off, really helping drive the S&P 500 higher, most definitely. And Bitcoin has not participated in that rally. So this ratio here of Bitcoin versus the S&P 500 is really just another way of expressing the fact that the technology Bitcoin positive correlation has diverged for some time. That's what this tells me.
Yeah. I mean, we always say we want to be in the best stocks, and that's no different, right? We treat Bitcoin like a stock. It looks okay on an absolute basis still, but leadership is not there, and it hasn't been there for a couple months now. And
now keep this in mind as well. The former highs from the former cycle peak back in late 2017, early 2018, that's been support, right? And then we've rallied up to those, right? So that's been support. And now we're stuck below the 2021 lows, right? We're stuck below that former support. If you want to show that slide so you can see the support turning into resistance there in the Bitcoin.
You're talking about basically the breakdown level of that top.
Yeah. When we broke down last year.
Yeah. Listen, yeah. I like it. I like it around this 25 level. I think, when you zoom in more on the chart, as long as this base is intact, this is not the level you're talking about, JC. This is the level I'm talking about.
This is the support. I'm talking about the resistance near 30. You're talking about support at 25. So that's the range, 25 to 30.
What do you think? You
Yeah.
could be a buyer. You could be a buyer here, right?
Yeah. Yeah. You know, because here's the question. The question is very simple. Number one, has the correlation between technology and Bitcoin just diverged now, which is perfectly normal in an ongoing bull market? Correlations tend to fall. Perfectly normal when volatility spikes in bear markets, correlations spike to 1, so everything moves together. So is this just one of those examples where correlations are dropping among, assets, and this is just another great example, and correlations are now changing? Or does Bitcoin catch up to technology, which I think might be sort of where your head is at here on the support near 25? Or is Bitcoin giving everybody a heads up and technology is going to drop down, which I feel like I don't think it's that. I don't think anybody thinks it's that, which kind of worries me. But
yeah, I mean, look, tech's got to cool off here. It really does.
Does it though? Does it?
I think it would be healthy.
Apple's done nothing for 2 years.
I think
Apple's done nothing for 2 years. Now you want tech to cool off?
Over the very near term, yes. RSI's at 78. I mean,
how is an overwhelming amount of buying pressure possibly a bad thing, Mr. Strazza?
You know what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying. I'm just breaking balls. I know.
We're extended here. That's it. I mean, did you see some of these candles yesterday? I mean, every day we come in here and
What do you think, Strazza? Do you think I saw the candles from yesterday? Do you think, if you had to guess?
You're sitting there on your phone at the beach. What do you use? TradingView for mobile charting? What do you use for mobile?
I use it depends on what I'm looking at. Yeah, I'll use TradingView, especially for like crypto and stuff for sure.
Huh.
We need Brett. We need Brett to build us a charting software.
Listen.
Sounds like a lot of work. He's gonna be like, just use TradingView, JC.
Look at something like Oracle, or today we'll be talking about Adobe.
All right, what's moving?
Huh?
What's moving today in the crypto world? It's basically Bitcoin hanging in and everything else still falling apart.
Still think Bitcoin scoops and scrapes.
Right, show Binance at support. Show the Solana, the Shiba Inu if you're into that sort of thing. Ethereum Classic near support. Like, these things just haven't caught a bid.
Binance still nowhere as close to zero.
We actually had a pretty interesting piece of news yesterday.
Why don't you talk about that?
After the close, around the close in Bitcoin land. BlackRock filed for a Bitcoin ETF. Now, this is not the first time this has happened, and it's not notable like in a vacuum, like by itself, but it is notable in the context of things, right? Because BlackRock, first of all, what are they? Second, first largest asset manager in the country. They wouldn't file for a Bitcoin ETF with the SEC unless they thought that it was going to be approved, right?
No, a bunch of them have filed and not gotten approved, knowing that
they filed years ago, right? No one has filed for Bitcoin ETF for more than a year. I feel like maybe it's been like a year and a half. Okay,
they approved and listed like 5, last year. Remember, all at the same time.
Those were Bitcoin. Those were Bitcoin futures or Bitcoin spot ETFs. This is an ETF that's going to actually hold Bitcoin, right? Big difference.
Strazza, is it worth buying Binance here? Down here at the support, throw up the chart.
No, absolutely not.
Not worth it.
You're crazy. Come on.
Am I?
How could you say that? We've watched these things one after the next have problems. Everybody knows they have problems, and then they collapse to zero. We've seen it too many times. No way. Wouldn't touch this with a 10-foot pole.
Wow. Well, are we not down at support? Are risk assets not going up in general? Is all this bullshit continuing to be overblown? Like all these banks no one's ever heard of disappearing, and clearly nobody cares. So why should we? Is this another one of those situations?
Spencer, help me here,
dude. You are playing with fire. Okay,
am I?
Oh my God, Jason.
Is Danger my middle name?
No, I don't think so. I think.
Why don't we just do a risk reversal on Binance, Sean? Why don't we do that? Why don't we just
that I think would be slightly irresponsible.
Jeez.
I don't think you want to be naked short this overnight. I like sleeping at night. See, rule number 1 of investing, right? Sean, is this rule number one? If not, it should be, is you need to be able to sleep at night. And if you can't sleep, you're too big. And having a risk reversal in Binance, first of all, I wouldn't even know how to put that on.
We got to clip this. Shorty this.
What are we clipping?
You saying buy Binance and then saying that you like to sleep at night.
Well,
The
if
same
you manage risk properly,
oh God,
to that you can sleep at night, then I don't see anything wrong with that. Like I'm probably not gonna buy Binance. Like, but honestly, here's the thing.
No, I think you should. Why don't you buy Binance? Put your money where.
Hold on. What did I just say before? The first thing that stocks need to do before they could start to go up is to stop going down. Right. The reason that I don't own Binance is because it hasn't stopped going down. Right.
Just take your money and light it on fire. Nice, Mike.
Look, I mean, look, it's probably a safe company if you don't mind having your money locked in there forever and your money is gone.
For the record, I don't give a damn about the company. I'm sure it's a scam. I hope it is. I really don't care. But if I could buy it at 230 and sell it at man, I mean, if we get back up towards 350, 3.25, 350, I don't think it stops there. I think you're looking at this thing. I think you're looking at this thing back up towards 700. So what is that? Is that like a three bagger? Is that not good enough for you? Is that beneath you?
This is Binance Coin, right? This is their crypto on their platform.
I mean, listen,
yes.
I don't what. Yes, sure.
Yeah. Okay, I'm just checking because that's not quite the same thing as a stock.
No,
right?
This is the same thing as FTX. This is FTT.
That's the point I'm trying to make here.
Yeah. No, Mike, not yet. Who let a Jets fan in here?
Boo.
Look, if tomorrow Binance wanted to issue 1 billion new Binance coins, they would just do it.
What's wrong with monitoring it? Acknowledging the fact that we are at former levels of support, recognizing that risk assets are going up very aggressively. So these things have been moving with tech and growth until recently. So you could bet that everything's changed now, maybe, or that we are going to revert to more traditional correlations here. And the next rotation could be into these cryptocurrencies. For the record, we're long Mara already. So we're not betting on this, right?
I don't know what you want me to say to you. I'm going to go heat up my coffee.
But in the long Mara trade, at least our risk, we're very, very well-defined risk management. So I could definitely sleep there. The Binance situation, like, do I wake up to like a gap down? Like, that's why I'm thinking like, monitor it. If it starts to creep up and you could define your risk tight, I mean, I'm not against it. Like you guys, like everybody's like, oh my God, JC, you're crazy. Am I though?
Yes.
All right. Survey in the chat. Should JC in the YouTube chat? Should JC buy Binance Coin? Your options are yes, no, or LOL.
Imagine if we had a cool way that the people in the chat could vote on this.
That would be so cool. Good thing we have a meeting about that on Monday.
Yeah, go talk to Dan.
All right, I'm in.
I'm going to heat up my coffee. I'm excited to talk to Mr. David Zarling.
Cool. Yeah, that's who we're about to bring on. David Zarling is today's featured guest. He is the head of investment strategy and research at Client First Tax and Wealth Advisors. He's also the creator of Adaptive. And he sent over some charts. Fonz, I didn't tell you that I put them in the deck here, but his charts are in there. So let's get David on the show and start talking these charts.
Jay, we've been friends for a long time. Make the call.
I mean, this is pretty professional, guys.
Nice show you got going here.
Mr. Zarling.
Good morning, gentlemen. Great to see you, Spencer
man.
and JC. We get to talk markets on a Friday and a 1-year anniversary. Are you kidding?
So do you think it's the 1-year anniversary, or you're like, oh, these guys are crazy?
I like your point about that. If you just do the counting, that there's potential there. If you look broadly, right, we know that October is now a good bottom. So I agree and disagree. Only disagree because some of the execution, being able to execute during that period of June through October, was hard, at least for my team. But yeah, I would agree that October's a significant low, whether we're a 1 year anniversary, the way you're defining it based on the number of stocks, I would agree with that. There was plenty of stocks working, and the other issue with them is they would break out and then come back and retest, and sometimes that can be hard from execution standpoint. But hey,
Yeah.
you made a great call, and I kudos to you.
I like the way you're looking at it, David. Basically, you're saying it's a bull market, and you know it's a bull market when your longs are working, and you're not getting chopped up and stuff.
Yeah, when you look at our sheet, it's expanding daily as far as the things that it's owning, and even though it's a 1 year anniversary, the thing I'd add is there's so many things setting up that this baby could just be getting started. I know you guys could say 12 months, whatever you want to call it. There's room here when you look at what's going on underneath the surface.
Let me ask you something, David. So, as a financial advisor, right, you guys manage assets for families and things like that, which is great. So you bring a very interesting perspective, because a lot of people have financial advisors. I have a financial advisor, right? How tactical do you get throughout these cycles? Number one, and number two, like how do you approach that? Like as sort of breadth has shifted, because it wasn't like all at once. It's really progressed steadily for the last year.
What he's really asking is if you're finally buying some of these value and cyclical stocks.
No, that's not what I'm asking him. No, don't listen to him.
He's asking me if we're buying Binance coin for our clients.
Yeah, settle down. No, how do you think of it from a tactical perspective? Like, how are you approaching it? Then we'll get into the value.
Yeah, for sure. With the breadth thrust that we saw in January and the way financials and banks were breaking out, to have that rug pulled in March made some execution pretty hard at that point. When breadth is narrowing, if you think of it like an accordion, we want to pivot towards the index, right? If we're saying our benchmark's the S&P 500 or a growth index or something, then we want to pivot back towards the index as things narrow, right? Because the S&P it's a beautiful instrument, to be honest. So you pivot to that, but
momentum strategy of all time.
Amen, brother. Like it cap weighted index, it pays the all-stars to be all-stars. You got it.
It buys more of the best ones and kicks out the worst ones. Like isn't that how it should be?
Yes, exactly. And I even love the Russell 1000, right? Because you're getting some of the minor leaguers in there that are going to become major leaguers.
Minor leaguers, I like what you did there. I like that.
You like if you look at EQAL, that chart, we're just starting. Like if this is basing out here and you're going to start seeing broadening out on the next tier down, getting back to your question about tactically, you just add positions on as the chart allows for you to entry.
ETFs
risk
only?
and reward.
You're only doing ETFs though?
ETFs mainly. We built Adaptive Select to try to solve the individual stock sleeve of our portfolios, but we still will in one of our models buy individual stocks besides ADPV to hit that, because sometimes it's a pretty strict rules-based process, and sometimes we have some discretion that we could add some individual stocks.
How low market cap do you go?
We like to be liquid. We'll stay in the top 1,500, and then we have an awesome trade desk at TD Ameritrade now going to Schwab, where if we've got something that we really like, we can kind of see what our impact would be, and then we work it that way.
How's that transition been? I was with some financial advisors at the NAAIM, which is the National Association of Active Investment Managers. This was down in Arizona. I was with Andrew Thrasher. Nice little boozy lunch. It was fantastic. And one of their concerns, because it's financial advisor talk, right? It's not technical analysis. It's not a CMT conference, right? So they were talking about the challenges and stuff like that. And a lot of people sort of voiced some concern about that transition with TD Ameritrade and Schwab. For those of you who don't know, I guess there was a Schwab bought TD Ameritrade. Is that what happened?
Yeah, that's basically the gist. And there's definitely some, I don't know if you want to call them transition pains there, as far as they're transitioning their service teams. And I'm not here to slam anybody. Everybody's
of course
do their job. One thing I am happy that they're keeping is iRebal and the trade desk. Those are two tech, things that we need to execute on behalf of our clients. So we're happy about that part. But we'll see. So, go ahead, Steve.
What's going on with Thinkorswim, David? Is that staying? Because a lot of people love that software.
I believe it is staying. We have
smart.
We know for sure iRebal is. I can't 100% say on Thinkorswim, but I would have a hard time believing that they would can that.
I like Schwab. I think you guys are in good hands with Schwab. They've done this before. Yeah.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
still use my Thinkorswim ticker symbols. Like I don't trade on TD Ameritrade. I trade it on like Fidelity and Centerpoint,
Sure.
but like Coinbase or whatever. But the TD Ameritrade, I still use it, and it's been there so long that the QQQs are 4 Qs, and it's just white.
Man.
And it's just that's how long it's been there. Is that
Wow,
there's
that's awesome. That's great. No, we're happy. We're going to be fine through the transition. We'll work through the growing pains, and whatever is best for our clients, that's what we'll do.
All right. So talk to me about what Strazza mentioned before, right? So we've seen, we saw some of the more value-oriented areas lead off the lows initially last June, while in the back half of last year, growth stocks really underperformed. Everything was working except for those large cap growth stocks. And coming into the year, it turned into the exact opposite. The year change itself, I think maybe been more coincident or sort of behavioral, but nevertheless, that shift took place in the first week of the year, and really the growth, all the things not working in the back half of last year have been working the best this year, and now over the last couple of weeks, we're starting to get that rotation back into those initial leaders. So, talk to me about what you think is happening here, and what that means for rates, right? How are you thinking through this?
Well, so you're absolutely right. We were able to catch some of the energy off of late or in Q4 into the beginning part of the year. Definitely did not catch the early part of the growth tech part. Wish we could have that back, but we're heavily involved for a while now in that. Now, does rotation happen here and we start seeing smalls and value pick up? Sure, but then you got to be looking at things that you view as value and small. A value that I look at is maybe United Healthcare. It's sitting right on a horizontal level that's important. It kind of actually looks like Binance coin in some ways. Like if you're going to get long in United Healthcare, maybe that play helps you with value. But as far as the sentiment seems to be that we need a consolidation here and we need tech to just pause here. We may not get it.
I know.
We may not. The market is very good at pulling in.
Let me ask you something. Let me ask you this, David. So you're a technician, you're CMT. You think technically you had a life before you got into technical analysis, so you're not like completely right. Me, I'm definitely a purist. I mean, I have been for a long time. I go out of my way to not let stories and narratives and fundamentals get in the way of what I'm actually seeing in price. But everybody, including CMT's technicians that are hard purists, are talking about how AI is like changing things, right? Like I always kind of shy away from those it's different this time sort of stuff. How do you think through that? Do you acknowledge that? Do you ignore it?
I think the best intelligence ever created was by God in my brain. Our brains are the supercomputers that are able to. We're still ChatGPT. There's still things that are being programmed behind it that are human based. They said the same thing about the internet. I had a conversation with someone recently, really smart person, and they thought, oh, this means we're going to a 4-day work week. They used to say that about the internet. They used to say that about the car. They used to say that about, the railroad. Every new technology that's come across, all it'll be is we'll just be more productive, right? We're the most productive people on the planet as Americans, and, across the globe having access to what we have access to. That's only going to continue. As far as how that impacts my investment thesis, I could give two craps. I'm going to use the chart, and if because how robo bots, there's some ETFs out there that if you want to express it that way, is metaverse the way to express it? Is Microsoft the way to express it? I have no idea. I'm not here to. All I know is Microsoft is going out to new all-time highs, and it's one of the most important stocks in the world, and that's all I care about.
Yeah, so you're like me. These are uptrends. Don't overthink it. These are just uptrends, bro.
How about though what you're hearing from clients though? I mean, is everybody just telling you that they want to be in AI stocks now, and how do you handle that? What do you say?
Yeah, no, it hasn't. That actually hasn't happened yet. What was interesting?
My friend, Strazza, nobo's talking about this. It's just us nerd stock market people.
Really?
My friends aren't telling me about it. My family's not. I love that David is pointing out that his advisor clients are not either. That's really interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting. And in fact, if you want to call it, I think there was a peak T-bill sentiment going on.
Yeah.
In Q4 last year, or even in the summer of last year, where we're getting asked nonstop about T-bills.
Yep.
And wouldn't you know, that's marking like the S&P bottom is when my clients are now, and nothing, I love my clients. I'm just saying that was when it was peak. Hey, can we just own some T-bills? This market's going down. Let's just own the 5%.
Zarling, I had angel investors telling me they were buying treasury bonds like that last summer. Angel VCs buying treasury bonds. This is what we're talking about.
I bonds, right? I bonds too.
All the I bonds. It was all the rage.
Yeah, you got to buy the I bonds, baby.
I mean, is it really that bad of an idea? 5%? I mean, we've never seen.
Oh no,
no, but generally, when everybody thinks something's a good idea,
yes,
perhaps there might be some better ideas.
Yeah, let's just say, I tell my clients, it makes me nervous how many of you are asking me about this. Because I mean, you look at a chart of like, and I know this isn't T-bills, but S&P versus AGG, it's a simple chart. People want to own stocks more than they want to own bonds. So if I'm going to sit here and own, my opportunity cost, right, the hurdle rate is 5%, but I got stocks ripping over here, outpacing something like AGG.
Yeah.
Am I passing up 12, 18, 25% because I want to own 5?
Right.
That's why they pay me.
Right. The time that you would have wanted to do that was perhaps maybe a year earlier, right? When perhaps it wasn't such a good idea, right?
Right. But yeah, there has been no AI talk yet.
Yep. I'm noticing the exact same thing, quite the opposite. They think like, oh, JC, why are you playing with these toys? Like, how old are you, bro? I said, all right.
Yeah.
And I send them I'm like, oh, write me a poem as if it was written by the notorious B.I.G., but only using Big Lebowski quotes, right? Like, I'll put that in ChatGPT and it'll send me something hilarious, and I'll send it to my friends, right?
Yes,
I was doing that at the beginning when I first started playing with it.
Yeah,
that's how that's JC using artificial intelligence.
Yeah, it's fun, man. It's only gonna help us do our jobs better for our clients, and so I'm looking forward to it. I mean, sentiment wise too. I mean, there was a period where we lost a client because we weren't short enough in October.
Oh, classic.
Yeah. So I mean, and then you look at that Yardini chart.
Can I start getting some, Zarling? Can I start getting some of this internal data that you got going? You got good data there, brother.
Yeah, I did.
Can you tell me when your clients start asking you about the AI? Can you come back and be like, "Yo, JC, they're all asking me about it."
I will. I'll do it. I'll tweet it. I'll put it out there. I'll say, hey, because I've got a baker's dozen that I rely on.
What about short term here? You don't necessarily think about tomorrow, but what are you trying to do? You're trying to outperform this quarter? That's sort of your perspective, or longer?
Longer. I mean, invariably we're trend followers. So you go in and out of correlation with the market, right? Now we're in correlation with the market. We have we have this trend upon us that now it's about, if we get a pullback, how are we going to execute in that?
Yeah.
If we get one.
Get one like in what? At the index level?
Yes, at the index level. You know, if you're looking at like S&P, and what's interesting to me is you look at like XLK technology, it didn't pause at the August highs. It didn't pause at the March highs of last year. And that was one of the leaders out there. And now you're seeing Qs do the same thing. And is S&P just it blew through its August highs, and March highs are a couple percent away?
Yeah.
How quickly, by the way, do they go where there aren't any stocks going up? It's only 5 to, oh, the market's going up too aggressively. Now it needs to pull back. It's like, wait, what?
Yeah. Markets ain't easy. Don't get me wrong. They're not easy. You know, it gets
only
hard
5
to
stocks, JC. Is it though? Did you count? Obviously not.
I know you guys do a lot of work on relative strength, right? So how much do you need to see from some of these relative trends, right? Or these ratios, right? Because something like industrials or small caps, they ripped, but for 1 week, right? How much do you need to see from the relative trends before you want to start, increasing exposure to these areas?
Well, I think, if you I think I might have shared it with you guys, and it's not going to be industrials, but I didn't share it. But, you look at something like Argentina on an absolute basis.
Yeah.
Right. Huge base on top of a base.
Nice.
Last few days creates a bull flag. You look at it on a relative basis, and it's confirming that it's cleared a base, a lower base coming out of a base. it goes back to Ralph's Argon, right? I've got my absolute chart and my relative chart moving from lower left to upper right. It's worth looking at. How you execute it, different story. But if both are going lower left to upper right, we want to try to be involved in that.
I love that.
Who's winning the Super Bowl this year?
Oh man, is Delvin going to Miami? Is Delvin coming there?
I think so. He's from Miami, but he's not willing to take a pay cut just because he grew up a Dolphins fan.
Really? That's too bad. I mean, you got to kind of put your money on the dudes that got you there, like the Chiefs. You know, Patty Mahomes. He's a dude. I'd love to say
you didn't hang around McMillan too long.
Oh yeah, he does influence me like that. But I'd love to say the Vikings, but they got to score 45 points a game in order to win. Their defense is atrocious. So, and the trend is the Vikings don't win Super Bowls. So I'll tell you that the downtrend is the Vikings don't win a Super Bowl.
The trend is your friend. The trend is your friend. No
Let's
doubt.
go. Dolphins are taking it home, baby. Let's go.
You got
All
it.
right.
That's
All right,
what's
David.
happening.
David Zarling, head of investment strategy and research at Client First Tax and Wealth Advisors. David, have a good one, man.
Hey, thanks for having me on, guys. Have a good
All
one.
right. Hey, at 9:15 every day, even on Crypto Fridays, we talked to Kimmy Sokoloff, day trader pro. She's day trading, live trading the open every single day. Let's see what's on her watch list today. What's she trading? Yeah.
Hi,
What's
guys.
up? How we doing, Kimmy?
Good. How you doing?
Good. I think did we just lose JC? No?
What's up, Kimmy?
He's
Talk to me
on
about this
mute.
Qualcomm.
Okay, we got him.
We'll see how it goes. Today's quad witching. It's option Fridays. I hate trading personally in general. Honestly, if it wasn't for the room, I would never trade Fridays. It's like a 50-50 shot. It's very volatile. Funky things goes on. I'm not an option person, but funky things goes on. It manipulates the stock. I mean, truly, if you're smart, some Fridays it's great, like full speed ahead, and we have 4 trades and great winners. And then sometimes it's 50-50. You have a win, you have a loss. You have a win, you have a loss.
The options expiration, especially, can mess with the.
Kimmy,
Correct.
before the weeklies, was the Fridays this bad before the weeklies, or did the weeklies make it even worse?
Weekly. Well, this one makes it even worse, but also,
This is a monthly.
This is a monthly.
Right. So
So
when they added the weekly options, like in the other weeks, like was it just the end of the month Fridays that were annoying, or right? And now that there's weeklies, is it every Friday that's more annoying in your opinion?
every Friday, that's annoying. And I think, you scale down a little bit, just, depends, if you take X amount of shares, I do a little less. I mean, even yesterday, it's like trades were just like, we had trades and then later on they all like rammed, went even higher. You know what I mean? Who the heck knew? If you had a crystal ball, you'd stay in stuff, but you just don't know. It's like, I bought CrowdStrike at like 155. The thing ran up to 160 and it wasn't even moving when we traded it. And it, we captured some money and the thing just kept going,
I didn't put on that snowflake trade. Look at that thing. What a move that thing put on.
Yeah, I said in the room it could go to 183, 185, and the thing just went whoop. I always tell people, you could stay in names or trim some and keep some. So if I'm taking a profit, that doesn't mean you have to. I always say there's potential to here. Yesterday I told you Nike was a recommendation of mine. I said, but it needs to pull in. It did pull in half the bar down to that 110 area. So it came back up.
Kimmy, to the pennies. You nailed it. Jesus Christ.
Nikki in the chat. Kimmy missed the snow trade yesterday, but took the Twilio based on that, and it worked out super well. Thank you.
Oh, Nikki's in the room, I guess. I don't know.
All right. Yeah. So talk to me about this Qualcomm. What are we doing? We're buying it?
So Qualcomm, I got to see how it acts. It looks like nice consolidation, had a nice pop, nice consolidation past few days. Let's see if it has strength. Hopefully it just doesn't break back down to 122, right? So I want to see it roughly hold in here, this 124 area, and really push past 124.70 to 125 to get going. Hopefully, potentially 127 to 129. So, we'll see.
This Adobe. What about the Adobe is moving this morning?
I know. I'm looking at it. you know, these names are so excessive. I mean, I'd love to like short it, but it just had earnings. You know, I'll have to watch it. Maybe I'll put on like a tiny short and see if capture like $10 in it. And we'll see. You know, I'm watching it around the 515 or 520 area, but you know, people might just jump in and push it higher, right? So, you know, I always tell people shorts are very hard. You know, the market is like a balloon. Market's like a ball that you push underwater, likes to pop back up, right? So when you get dips in the market, they're usually great opportunities over time, right? But you know, shorts are hard, and I say always do them small if you're going to do them, and stop yourself out, right?
All right.
Yeah, you know, I look at something like Adobe. I'm not in it. You know, we have exposure in that space as it is. I obviously I wish that I owned Adobe, but this is something that I
Right.
want to look to own, not something that I would be looking to short. You, on the other hand, on an intraday basis, are looking for opportunities to get short. Not clearly not right now, but you know, that's sort of how you're thinking it on that mean reversion in the very near term. So, you know, for me, it's the shorter term trades that I'll put on like that are a great complement to the other stuff that I'm doing. It's great.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see how it acts today. Maybe there's an opportunity for a quick short for a couple bucks. We'll see. It might not. You know, it could be full speed ahead. I mean, longer term, maybe this name runs back. What's the high on it? Like in the 600s,
Things
right?
got that's what I'm looking at. I mean, if all these people and their AI, if this is for real, that thing's going back to those former highs. You know, I mean, that's a lot of upside. That's what I'm looking at, Kimmy. So listen, I know you got to hop. Go do your thing. I will be watching. I am ready. I'm locked and loaded. I already got this Qualcomm ready to go. As soon as you say go, I'm in.
Let's hope it goes. Remember, funky things happen with options.
Listen, if it doesn't trigger, it doesn't trigger. I don't care. I got enough going on.
Well, it could trigger and then fail. Let's see if they keep the market
Kimmy,
up.
I always assume it will fail.
That's right. You should always assume the worst.
Always.
Meaning with trades, assume that right.
All
You
the
got
time.
your
Hope for the best, prepare for the worst, guys. If you want alerts to Kimmy's trades like right after she's made them, and not like talking about it the next day like we do on this show, you have to join Kimmy's room. She's there every single day from basically right now all the way through the open, and then some. So yeah. Well,
Happy Father's Day.
Oh, JC, that's right. Happy Father's Day. Good call.
Thank you. How about that? We're going to a baseball game.
And all the dads out there.
I'm taking my daughter to a baseball game.
The only way to get into Kimmy's room is by emailing the email on the screen or calling the number on the screen and talk to Mary. Actually, starting later today, I'll have a QR code. But for right now, it's the email, questions@stockmarketmedia.com. It's the phone number, 323-421-7991. Get in her room, talk to Mary about it, and you will get Kimmy's trades as she's making them. Kimmy, have a great weekend.
Bye, guys. Have a 3-day weekend. Have a good one.
Yes. Thanks for the reminder.
Well, someone remind me in the room. I would have forgotten.
Market is closed on Monday. Thanks a lot, Kimmy. Whew, I actually forgot about that. Okay.
Reminder, everybody, public service announcement. For those of you who are not aware, the stock market is closed on Monday. Futures are not. The rest of the world does not care that the New York Stock Exchange is closed.
Because nobody cares about the United States stock market, JC. Nobody cares.
I care.
Okay. Hey, I had a few like little movery type things. Actually, no. Since Kimmy mentioned Adobe, let's do Adobe here. Okay, it was the big earnings report of the night, kind of the big one of the week, really. They beat just handedly across the board. The EPS, the sales. They gave guidance for the quarter. They gave guidance for the full year. All of it came in above estimates. It was just a huge beat for Adobe. It's run up obviously into the report, and it's up again this morning.
I mean, to me, I look at those former highs in the 600s. Man, look at that base. This is just another great example, Strazza, that we keep talking about. There's so many charts that look like this. And just big base starting in the first half of last year, resolving higher. More and more of these continue to resolve higher. So if you see a chart like this and you're wondering, is it going to resolve higher? What are all the other ones that look like that? What are they doing? And they're resolving higher. And so if you're going to make that bet, clearly the probabilities are on your side that it's ultimately going to break out. Now, with that being said, a point that Strazza has made a couple of times this week is that, you know, do you want to be in the leaders that have already broken out, or do you want to be waiting for the next breakouts, which are by definition the laggards, right? Which is another great point. Adobe, great example. This one already broke out. It's already making moves, making even bigger moves. It's a big base, man. It's a big base.
I mean, the market told you that it was going to be a beat, right? Since last week. Market made that very clear. Just look at the price action into earnings. And remember, earnings reactions tend to occur in the direction of the short-term trend, which was undeniably higher and with momentum, over the past few weeks. Now we got a nice big beat. And I think for this one, it's a lot less about the numbers themselves, Spencer, right? Because I don't think they're charging for this cool new AI software yet. I don't think they're selling.
I did not see that.
For me, I don't give a damn about the numbers. I care about the market, right? But I care about the market's reaction and the fact that the market's not disappointed by whatever it is that they said.
Yeah, but that's my point. It's about what they said. This one.
Stock's up 5.5%.
Is their call on now? Their call is probably on.
No, their call would have been last night.
People listen to those things.
No, my only point was going to be that with a lot of these earnings reports, it's about the call, right? So you might get
Strazza listens to those conference calls, Spencer.
No. He's absolutely right, Jason.
Commentary.
He's absolutely right. There's many times a stock has had a muted reaction or no reaction at all to the earnings, and then the call gets started and the CEO says something crazy and the stock goes haywire, right?
And
so
the reason I say that it's right now more than ever, you're seeing it because they're not making money off of AI things yet. These companies, they're not selling it. It's not in the numbers. It's in their comments about what will be in the numbers in the future.
Mm-hmm. Oh. That's right. Speaking of calls and news and executives saying things and company press releases and this and that and the other, two pieces of news today that I wanted to highlight. One from iRobot. I actually wanted to share my chart here.
Bumpers anymore? Do we not run the earnings spotlight bumpers and the?
I kind of just kept it going, but yeah, we can. This is what's moving. I moved on to what's moving now, so we can run that. I moved on. So
Adobe's moving 5.5% pre-market, in case anybody was wondering. But yes.
Yeah. All right. So this is the chart of iRobot, IRBT, and the point I want to make.
These are the robot vacuums, right?
Yeah. The Roomba, right, JC? Okay.
Spencer's got some ugly charts, man.
I don't know. I don't normally use TradingView. I'm just bringing it up for this example.
I
just want to no. Don't even look at the axes.
It hurts my eyes. Spencer.
Don't look at the
axes. Don't worry.
God, dude. I just wanted to make a point here that risk arbitrage can be extremely difficult. Okay, so iRobot announced August of last year, that huge gap up that you can see. They're getting acquired by Amazon. All right, the takeover price was $61, so it trades to $60. That makes sense. What happens over the next 10 months? This thing goes from $60 to $31 over concerns that the deal won't get approved. Now, this morning, whatever the EU or whomever says that they are going to approve it, so now the stock goes back up to like 50 or whatever. But just goes to show risk arb is extremely difficult. I just wanted to highlight that on the iRobot. And the other one I had was Space, SPCE. The stock is in a massive downtrend. As soon as it's going to zero, you can see that the trend there.
But you're killing me with these charts.
Log your scale, you serial killer.
Yeah, log your scale. Take those damn grids off there. What do you need a grid?
I did not spend any time on that because it's not the chart design is not important. It just look at the direction of the candles. My only
point, can you believe this guy?
Never again.
This guy. This is the best morning show in finance, and you come to me with this shit.
Don't we?
You can read what I was saying. I was trying to just make a point about. Oh my God!
Alfonso, help this guy out.
Yeah, Alfonso. Jeez Louise.
For the record, I normally use Thinkorswim for my charts, but I didn't want to bring it up because I have a whole bunch of charts.
The
I don't want to
background. Just stop.
This is unacceptable.
Okay, forget it. Never mind. I was going to talk about Virgin Galactic, but now I don't want to.
Just tell me about Virgin Galactic.
No, I don't want to. No, I don't want
to. Display. Tell me what happened with Virgin.
I'm dying to know about these rockets. Tell me.
No.
Hold on. So they just announced, right? They just announced that they're going to just launch a rocket one day and the stock's at 50%. Like that's what's going on?
No, the company exists for space tourism. That's their whole point, okay? Yeah. They announced today that they're actually going to do it in 10 or 11 days from now. Their first actual launch with people in it.
I'm going to use my profits from Binance to fly myself to space.
I thought he was going to say 10 or 11 years from now.
No, 10, 11 days from now. And they said the second one is in August. So anyway, that's what I wanted to say.
Money off this one day is the idea, right?
Listen, between this rocket company up 50% on just somebody saying we may or may not launch a rocket one day,
not may or may not. Not may or may not.
Then the video that Izzy made, if ever you got to play that one more time. Play it one more time, just so people can see just how obnoxious it is. This is the top. Play it. Show the people in case they came in late. It's ridiculous.
It is down year to date, but you say we're in a bull market?
The media said so, JC. Everyone else finally agrees with you.
That is the most ridiculous video of all time. If that doesn't mark the top, I give up. I give up.
We will remember.
If that's not the top, I'm done.
I can't wait for the second year anniversary.
How do I not get? Shouldn't I get approval? Shouldn't I be able to approve these things? You guys are just dropping these things on me.
I kind of like that it was a surprise and neither of us had seen it.
Dude,
that bumps me up.
JC,
if he makes one of those about artificial intelligence, I'm shorting everything.
That's called a bottleneck, and we don't like those here. So no approval, no prior approval.
Can we talk about this helicopter company though? Isn't this a cool one too? This Joby Aviation.
Sure. Is it still going? Is it going up again?
No, but pun intended. You know about this one though. You know what they do?
Yeah, it's helicopter, like it's Ubers but helicopters, right?
Can I take a helicopter from Key West to Miami in the future? This company is going to make that possible.
That's what they say. I don't know.
Right? That's what it is. It's short flights. You take a helicopter.
Yeah, it's Uber but for helicopters. Yes.
Sounds great.
In this economy.
No, they haven't started yet. They haven't launched these operations.
Yeah, half of these SPACs haven't started yet with what they said they're going to do. Virgin Galactic is starting next week. They've been public for like 2 years.
Where are they going to? They're going to Mars next week?
Yeah, they're just going out somewhere out in space.
We don't know. Mystery space rocket?
They're not going anywhere. They're going up. They're going up. That's the rocket going.
When we talk about Tommy Tuberville,
you just go up into space and hang out in space. They're not going to like a planet.
No.
Can we talk about Tommy Tuberville, please?
All right, you want to do the hot corner?
Fine.
Yeah. Tommy Tubes.
Hot corner. So hot right now.
So this dude is buying Tommy Tuberville, former head coach of your Auburn Tigers, and then he's now, I guess, he's a senator now in Alabama, I guess.
Yeah.
He bought PayPal. He bought New Holdings. So Tommy Tubbs buying bank stocks, huh?
Not new.
And then he bought Cleveland Clips, buying Steel, PayPal, and a bank stock. Mostly PayPal, though.
So you remember this from last year. He's been a Cleveland Clips bull for some time now.
Oh, yeah, he has. True. He just bought more.
And it's also not his first PayPal purchase. This guy typically, I mean, we have seen so many filings from him. He is by far the most active politician. It's not even close. People talk about.
He?
Yeah, dude. People talk
it's
about
not that Virginia Fox lady.
Listen, I guess he's just not as fun.
And what about Nancy Pelosi? Pelosi's pretty active.
No, she's not. It's just the world wants to think she's active, and it makes great news, but she's not active at all, really.
Tommy Tubbs, and he swings too. He was buying lumber futures before COVID. This guy's out of control.
Yeah, can I offer an idea about Tommy Tuberville? He's the most active by far, Strazza says. Does that make him a reverse indicator?
Listen,
he's been pretty good. He's been good. He nailed the COVID trade.
You know how I feel about the political filings. Listen, it's really interesting. I'm particularly interested when I know these people are on certain committees, right? That's why you see Pelosi doing all these tech stocks. It's because they're behind closed doors in a room hearing something a lot of times, then going out buying these stocks. So that's when it's really interesting. But these guys don't have the best track record. They have these ETFs now, the Nancy and Cruise ETFs. You guys heard about this?
Yeah, they're probably. I don't think they're any good.
Oh, terrible! Like, it's not. Listen.
What about the B. Riley guy? He keeps buying.
No, you know what really stood out today? He's been buying, right? That's nothing new. What stood out today is NASDAQ. Weren't they in the news? They just acquired like some software company, right? The stock plunged early this week. On Monday, it was down like 12%.
Who's Stephen Black?
Let's find out.
He's a director. Stephen Black.
By the way, stocks always go. Acquirers always go down the day of.
Like if I ever get famous and I have to use a fake name for the hotel, that's what I'm going to use. Stephen Black.
He's a private equity guy.
All right.
Coach.
So he's a director?
Formerly,
he filed a Form 4.
Formerly of JP Morgan Private Banking. So, or investment banking. So yeah, he's a PE guy, Stephen Black. Director. So yeah, he came out, bought this weakness. I think that's interesting.
But the biggest trade of them all was this guy Dan Wilkes. So he filed a Form 4 with ACDC. First of all, the ticker symbol's ACDC. Are you kidding me?
Throw up the table again.
Hold on. Is that really the ticker symbol? ACDC?
Yeah.
Look at this thing.
Is it a power company?
This one's been here before also. Oil field services, right? This is an interesting one. Market cap $2 billion. It's the right space. Got a nice base there.
Dude, it's got about $4 million worth of stock. Are you kidding me? How much money does this guy have?
I don't know. I don't know who Dan Wilkes is. But it stands out.
It's $4 million worth of stock. He's not buying all that because he thinks the stock goes down.
You know
and
what?
The ticker symbol is ACDC. Like I feel like just owning it, just so I could like rock out all day, as the stock goes up. Like, wouldn't that be fun?
Do we have the coherent chart?
While he does that, I just want to say I am in the process of making us a new landing page. But if you want the hot corner every day, it's a free note. Just email us, okay? It's emails on the screen, questions@stockmarketmedia.com. Just put hot corner in the title. I'll have a new QR code and a link for you guys on Tuesday. But for today, if you want the hot corner every day, it's free. Email us right there.
Yeah, this COHR, this coherent one stands out too because this stock's been absolutely ripping. And they got an executive buying $300,000 worth. Oh, excuse me.
I don't think we do. Hey, do you guys see this? The Kava IPO yesterday?
Bless you, Jesus.
This Kava IPO was huge. They're bigger than Wendy's now. The
What's
IPO
the market cap now officially.
The IPO price. Hold on. The IPO price was 22, and it opened at like 40, which is a lot higher.
It's a $5 billion market cap now.
It opened at 42, 22 to 42.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, listen, restaurants, fast food restaurant stocks have been hot, so like this is the environment for a stock like that to go public and do well. And by the way, I'm going on Thursday.
Oh God.
I'm going to Kava on Thursday. I'm going to be in the city. I'm going to go have lunch at Kava and I will report back.
Take pictures. I want to see what it looks like. So JC's line in the sand for this trade, you guys all heard it here yesterday, was the IPO price. So that would be 22. So 22 is your risk level, right?
That's a long ways off.
Right? Isn't that what he said? Can we play the right?
That is what he said.
Don't listen to me.
That is what he said. Yeah.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I specifically said I'd wait a day or two so that we had an exact. That's exactly what I said. Number one.
I'm so
Number two, I think you could use the lows of the day yesterday, right? So now we have information. We use the lows of the day yesterday, or you could use maybe that initial thrust higher before the rollover, or you could buy a breakout to new highs and use yesterday's highs as where's it pre-market right now? Or actually it's trading right now. So it's at 45.31. So I mean, I'm not in it. I'm probably not going to buy it today anyway. But there's a few different ways you could play it. 22 has no relevance whatsoever right now, by the way.
Hey, it's a Baba Ganoush bull market out there.
Oh, geez, Louise. Here we go.
New highs for hummus.
Weren't you fading the falafel yesterday? Now you're buying the Baba Ganoush. We'll see. We'll see how. Let it dance for a couple of days. If it sets up, maybe. If not, that's okay too. There's 5,000 other stocks. We'll be fine.
Can I talk about large cap value now?
Yeah, I wanted to talk about the chart report, but yeah, talk about large cap value.
All right, no, let's do chart report. Sorry. We actually have an outline here. We're following some sort of schedule after all.
No, I just want to talk about the chart report because I'm in it. So I shout out to JC for making the chart report yesterday. Scroll down.
How far down do I got to scroll?
Too far down. What is this?
We put him at the end. We put him at the bottom.
Yeah, why are they putting me at the bottom? So this, shout out JC. We're talking about the advanced decline line. This actually chart showed, this we talked about it in the show yesterday. This is the advanced decline line, the S&P 500 approaching new 52-week highs or all-time highs. Yesterday actually ended up going out at a new high. So to me, that stands out. Like, yeah, the setup, you know, it's just hard to argue that only 5 stocks are going up if the advanced decline line in the S&P 500 is making new all-time highs. Right?
Did you draw this arc on Microsoft Paint or something? Why is this chart so blurry? Are you new?
No, it's because Grant sent me Grant sent it to me on the Google Slides, and I just downloaded it quick. I apologize. You guys expect better out of me, and it's unacceptable.
Yeah, come on. You set a better example.
I still made the chart report, so my point got across.
No, it is a good chart, right? I think we've talked about it on here already this week. This really speaks to the fact that it's not just 5 stocks, as well as any indicator, right? The AD line, by definition, what it does. What else?
I'm gonna, you know, as a leader, you want to take blame, and I will ultimately, but Grant, you know, am I throwing Grant under the bus?
Yeah, you are. Oh, we're gonna do a new segment. We got to come up with a cool name, like the stat line or the stat report, and we'll make Grant stay up really, really late every now and then to come on and break down some stats for us.
Dude, Grant, they don't know Grant. People need to meet Grant. Grant should come like with like a cigar. He should, you know.
Hey, the chart report, guys, it's a free daily note. It compiles all the best tweets and sometimes JC's as well from around the world of FinTwit. If you want to get it delivered in your inbox, just scan the QR code on the screen, use the link in the description on YouTube, and get the chart report delivered to you. Now, Strazza.
Hold on, can I do one more? One more. I want to shout out Jeff DeGraff. I have a man crush on Jeff DeGraff. Have for a long time. He's the man. Learned a lot from this particular gentleman. He's also in this chart report. And he showed the dollar. And the dollar's downtrend is resuming its weakness. Jeff DeGraff is the man.
How about that British pound? How about that GBP?
Nobody cares about British pounds, JC.
I mean, you should. I'll bet Ian's trading this thing. I'll bet Ian's long.
I mean, listen, new 52-week highs in emerging market currencies. You're looking at British pound continuing to rip higher. The euro is not falling apart after all. Ain't that some shit? And stocks like it, man. The weaker dollar has just really been consistent. And we were talking like over the last few weeks, it's like, man, stocks are doing really well in the face of a rising dollar. I mean, slightly right, maybe not rising dollar, but not falling dollar. Yep. And it's like, what's going on here? Is the dollar going to catch down, or are stocks getting ahead of themselves? What's going on? Well, here we are. You're seeing that dollar weakness in the face of strong equities market, right? So that correlation as it turns out, hasn't really changed.
All right, wait, Strazza, why don't you do your small cap value thing now, because we have Ian Culley here in a few minutes, so I want you to.
Oh, all right, I'll save my GBP chart for Ian then. I didn't know he was coming on today. Awesome.
Oh, yeah, actually, I didn't
know. What happened
either.
to large cap value? What does that have to do with British pounds?
No, large cap. What this has to do with is the expansion and participation, and the simple fact that, you know, we've been talking about growth all year, and that there's some sort of problem that it's only growth stocks or only tech stocks leading the way. The S&P 500 value index, which is all the value stocks in the S&P 500. So by definition, none of the growth ones that we think are the only stocks going up is making new all-time highs. This is the first factor index that's back at new all-time highs. We got it yesterday. I think this chart is a day stale, but we're there. So this is happening now at the index level. First, it was the strongest stocks, the NVIDIAs, the Broadcoms, Apple, Microsoft, right? Making new all-time highs. Now the indexes are making new all-time highs. It's only a matter of time before XLK makes new all-time highs, and then you'll have the NASDAQ 100 making new all-time highs. and the S&P 500. So we're not far. We're moving in that direction. Getting some of this now. Small cap industrials, another one, 2%.
He sounds like LeBron James. Not one, but two, but three, but four, not five, right? That's what Strazza sounds like. He's like, you're going to get this all-time high, that all-time high. Everybody gets an all-time high. He's like Oprah over here.
Someone who looks at a lot of charts, though, that's how it happens, right? They drip in at first.
Here's what I'll say. About this. It gets back to exactly what we've been talking about. The fact that these value indexes are making new highs is really just further evidence that we've gotten more and more strength out of, right? It's the internals have already been suggesting this for some time. Now you're seeing it at the index level. You know, I really like our industrials trade a lot. I mean, obviously I like it. It's working out very well, but just kind of the concept of the whole thing. And just because we got a good entry point doesn't mean that there won't be additional good entry points in the past. You know, when you talk about, oh, what if the market dips? What if we get a pullback? What are you going to buy then? I think you probably look at industrials.
Yeah, I mean, it speaks to the fact, this chart really speaks to the fact that it's a healthy market, and there are other things
symbol in that one?
In IVE, like industrials and value, right? Like nobody's been talking about these value stocks because growth and tech have been so hot. But, you know, this index is up 25% from the lows last year. And, you know,
keep in mind what you have in there on the value. They're including that tech also. So it's not tech. You're still getting Microsoft and Meta, Amazon. You're still getting some of those. You're getting a lot of Berkshire Hathaway, obviously, JP Morgan. You're getting Walmart, Bank of America. So you've got, you know, it's 18.5% financial, still 19% tech, it's 12% industrials. So it's a less obnoxious index with regards to tech. You definitely have a lot more value, but you're still getting some of that.
You're absolutely right, JC. I'm looking at the holdings now. You can't keep these stocks out of anything. They're in all of these indexes. I want to look up the Russell 1000 value and see if that's the case with them too. I mean, Microsoft is the largest holding. And
the Russell 1000 value is what? IWD?
IWD. I don't.
IWD is only giving you 9.5% tech. You're getting 10.5% industrials. You're getting 20% banks. You're getting 16% healthcare.
That's
your
why
biggest components. So what's that?
That's why it looks different.
That's why it looks different. You're getting biggest component is Berkshire, but you're still getting Meta, Exxon, Johnson & Johnson, JP Morgan, Chevron, Pfizer, Walmart, Cisco, Bank of America. That rounds out the top 10. These things have a zillion companies in them, so they're very diversified. They're not like, you know, some of these sector ETFs that are super, super highly weighted in one stock or two stocks.
I would love to see an X-Tech fund.
They have them. Like some,
I'm sure it looks.
There's some serial killers out there that look at the they got the Nasdaq X Tech ETF. It's like Nasdaq X Tech. What do you need the Nasdaq for?
So that would be like Pepsi, right?
The Nasdaq X Tech. Are you kidding me?
I got it right here. Nasdaq 100 X Tech. Yeah, why would you do that?
So it's like peanut butter. What is it? Peanut butter, no jelly. Ham, no burger.
All right, I'll throw it up.
All right, I'm going to bring on Ian Cully, head of FIC at All Star Charts. He lost his voice, but he got it back. He found it.
You found it.
Good morning, guys. What's happening?
Wow, look at the dude. You are crushing it.
Wow.
Dude,
what's happening? Good morning.
He's got like this, Einstein, James Altucher thing going on, you know?
Hey, this is what you most likely see if you catch me on the street.
Dude, you are the man. Can we talk about British pounds, dude?
Yeah, you know, the trade's been working. The pound's working. The euro's back above that 108 level. And when it comes to emerging markets, I mean, a lot of strength in emerging market currencies. You know, the CEW recently hit fresh 52-week highs. It's violating a decade-long downtrend line. And, you know, a lot of that strength is coming from Latin American currencies, which is really interesting. The Mexican peso, the Brazilian real, the Chilean peso. So, yeah, a lot going on. Dollar's looking weak, and it's heading back towards that 101 level. I think a break below 101 really opens that path of least resistance lower.
You know, Ian, a lot of strength from the international equities complex is coming from Latin America these days too.
Yeah, absolutely. We've been pointing that out in the past week or so. Yep, Argentina, just ILF looks really good. Breaking out, resolving from a
the ILF's a lot of Brazil now catching up with Mexico, right?
Yeah, Mexico looks good too. Yeah.
And then just the dollar weakness. Finally, the dollar weakening. We kept wondering, like, what the heck is going on here with the stock market doing so well, despite a dollar that was not falling, and now the dollar's reacting. I'm here looking at. I'm trying to get the composition. Do you have that handy? The composition of the emerging market currencies index.
The CEW.
Yeah, you have that handy?
Up right now.
So these are specifically emerging markets currencies, which have tended to that particular index. Shout out to our friends at Wisdom Tree.
I was just going to say, they have the best funds. They really do.
They're going to love to hear you say that. They do a nice job of giving vehicles to express a thesis in particular countries or groups of countries, different currencies, right? They got the DXJ, which is the only country ETF that's been making new all-time highs for like a year almost.
They have a lot of cool stuff that we find helpful. Emerging market.
People are like, oh, JZ, the DXJ is priced in yen. It's like, yeah, I know. So does that mean that we have to give the profits back because the ETF is priced in yen? Yeah, we know. That's literally the name of the ETF, is that it's priced in local currency. It's a hedged ETF.
They have the India earnings.
Before anything else was breaking out, this thing was already moving.
Yep. CEW's got Chilean peso, Thai baht, Turkish lira. Let's see, South African rand.
You got that gold chart price in lira?
Oh, man. Have you seen it recently? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Hey,
just continues to rip higher.
Turkish online retail, guys. Turkish online retail.
No. How about crude oil? Are we going to stick this landing in crude oil?
Hey, as long as it's above 65. I mean, I had a great day yesterday. It's looking good this morning. I mean, kind of flat this morning, but I mean
they can't knock it down. Like, it's down to the support.
Good too.
They don't knock it down.
Yeah. On a separate note, my family eats kava every week. Every week. We eat there more than anywhere because it's cheap. It's easy. It's like the Mediterranean Chipotle. I think this thing's going to rip. I really do.
It already doubled, didn't it? Yesterday.
JC's long against 22.
You're such an asshole. I am absolutely not.
Wait, so Ian, what do you order there? Like, what do they have? It's like wraps, like falafel wraps, and
it's like bowls. It's like Chipotle. Think of like a Mediterranean style Chipotle. So you can pick your base, which is like lentils and rice or some sort of mixed greens, and then you can get some sort of lamb. Usually, you get the braised lamb. I get the braised lamb. I get the feta and the tzatziki and all that jazz, and some like pickled onions and Persian cucumbers.
What about dessert? They got baklava or something?
Yeah, you bullish the baklava?
No, I don't know about the sweets. They have like the like baked goods at the end. They need to work on that. They don't have baklava or.
Dude, I love the baklava.
Like the Greek had the galaktoburuko with the custard. They don't have that.
I used to live next to this Hungarian bakery in New York City because they got those there. And man, this baklava was ridiculous.
You like the baba ganoush, Ian?
They do have an eggplant. I don't know if they call it baba ganoush, but they have it. Every different culture has their own name for it. They have an eggplant kind of.
The issue with like this business per se is that there's a lot of regional chains that do the same thing. There's one here in New York, New Jersey called the Halal Guys. There's one in Michigan called Mediterranean Grill. Yeah, so it's all the same food basically, just different business. Like there's only Chipotle, I guess I guess they have competitors too. But my point is, there's lots of different restaurants like this besides Kava. So
you think they'll be able to compete with all the street meat in New York City?
Yeah, no, no, I don't. Okay, you guys want to do some recess?
Yeah.
All right, Ian, I hope you got something ready for us.
Yeah. So I'm taking the kids to New Orleans this weekend.
Oh, really?
Yeah, gonna take them to the aquarium, take them to the insectarium.
Wait.
Maybe eat some bugs.
Ian, aquarium or zoo?
Aquarium. We're not going to go to the zoo. I think the weather's going to be pretty bad.
Well,
so
in New Orleans in the summer, of course you want to be inside.
All right,
yeah,
fine.
yeah.
Generally speaking, though, aquarium or zoo?
Yeah, we had this debate yesterday.
Oh, you mean just generally speaking?
What would you rather do?
I like aquariums.
Yeah,
I like aquariums. I mean,
I
zoos
agree.
are cool. Don't get me wrong. Like if I'm in San Diego, I want to check out the zoo. But you know,
Okay.
what's your take? You like aquariums or zoo?
Yeah, aquariums.
Yeah.
Let's Shamu. SeaWorld is a blast.
All
I'm
right.
into the zoos.
You-
What was the name of the toucan from Fruit Loops?
Sam.
Toucan Sam.
Toucan Sam.
Thank you. My family thinks that I'm crazy because I know the name of Toucan Sam. Like, how do you guys not know that?
Yeah.
Like, they're like, oh, you know all these crazy fun facts. I'm like, is it that crazy that I know this? It's like Tony the Tiger, Toucan Sam.
Yeah.
Like, no,
Say
Grew up with those guys.
right.
most of the serial characters, they all have names.
So we saw the toucan. The toucan is sick. This beak is like out of control. It's beautiful.
They're big, right?
Wow.
Pretty big.
The beaks are really big. The birds themselves,
Yeah, they're not small.
no, maybe like that.
Yeah.
The beak is like the longer than the bird itself. The beak's crazy.
Um,
All right, so hold on. I got a shout out.
Yeah.
You know, we're talking about street meat. I got to tell you, on the northeast corner
mhm.
of 46th and Park Avenue,
Write this down.
there's a guy. And this guy has been there my entire career, which turns 20 years this month, as a matter of fact. When I got to Wall Street, he had already been there for a while. The guy was already a legend when I got there. So COVID happened, everything changes. When we were at the CMT symposium, it was right around the corner from there. It was like 44th and Madison, right around the corner. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go see if this guy's still there. The dude was there. He was back. He was happy to see me. He's like, where have you been? I'm like, my man, where you been?
So that's where JC went when nobody could find him, and now it all makes sense.
46 in Park, the northeast corner of 46 in Park, only for lunch, like 11:30 to 1-ish, right? Don't get there at noon. I guess these days, these office buildings are empty, but in the old days, the line would be around the corner. You couldn't get there after noon. So you want to get the chicken and rice, extra onions, white, double hot, right? So the white sauce and then double hot. That's the move. Ready? The chicken and rice, extra onions, white sauce, double hot. I'm telling you.
Did you honestly go eat from a New York City food truck instead of the CMT lunch that they had?
I brought it to the table. You didn't see me eating it? Yeah.
All right. Strazza, what do you got for recess? I got something.
I don't really have anything.
All right. My recess is first time in 4 years. We have new episodes of Black Mirror. This new season's out now. I was able to watch the first episode last night. Pretty good. Not the best, but pretty good. Very excited for the rest of the season. Love this show. Great show on Netflix. Very dystopian.
I just started it.
Yeah, very disturbing.
Started what? Season 1 or like the new?
Season 1. I've never.
Oh man, you're in for a treat.
I got to catch up.
There are some good ones. Everyone's got their own opinions about
what shit, man.
It is.
I don't know.
Very aggressive.
What was the other one that everybody was crazy about? It wasn't from. I didn't even watch it. The squid people.
Squid Game.
I don't like the. Yeah, all right, we'll see.
As my wife would say, that is so weird.
Why
are they doing that?
Is it like that other popular freaky show on A&E? What is it?
What, Walking Dead? What?
No. Maybe it's not A&E. What is it?
A&E.
It's the really American Horror Story.
No, not at all, man. No. It's a modern Twilight Zone. So each episode's different, totally different characters, different plot, different everything. They're all self-contained, and some of them are kind of weird, and some of them are just good, just straight up good, right? And they're all futuristic or sci-fi in some way, shape, or form. The first episode of the new season is really about a company like Netflix. It's good. Enjoyed it.
Shout out Twilight Zone, one of the best shows ever, but they just redid it, and I tried to watch them. It's so bad. They just redid it with like all new actors, and no, Oh, good.
Shout out to sleeping more. Now that basketball season's over, I don't have to stay up to all hours of the night and go to bed at a decent time. So shout out to sleeping.
Those games should be at 7:30, not 8:30.
Are we getting old? I
Yeah.
think we're getting old.
Yeah, I'm falling asleep on the couch in the fourth quarter. That's no good.
All right, it is 10 o'clock. That's our show. Quick reminder, PSA, we mentioned it earlier, but the markets are closed on Monday, so don't be here on YouTube waiting for us because we will not be here. I want to thank our guests, David Zarling, Kimmy Sokoloff, Ian Culley, of course. Ian Culley will be back on Stock Market TV an hour and a half from now for What the Fick with myself. Stay tuned for that. Smash the like. Email us. Emails questions at stockmarketmedia.com. Our phone number's in the description. Any questions, comments, concerns, do all that good stuff. Everyone have a great rest of your day. Enjoy the long weekend.
Hold on.
Get outside.
Happy bull market birthday, everybody.
You
And
guys are ridiculous. How is that not a local top? How is that not a local top? You guys are out of control.
and a happy Father's Day to all. Enjoy the time.
It's not Father's Day until Sunday.
We'll see you guys next week.
All right.
Run it.